Hello and welcome to another stream here with MeistaSoda. Today we're gonna have another race of the GeForce Motorsports Formula 1 League. And yeah, we're heading towards the end of this season. This is race 22 out of 24. And it's been a long season so far, and the new game is coming up soon as well. So I think we all are really looking forward to this, but before we get to the new game, we still want to finish this season in the best way possible. And yeah, at the moment we have a few contenders that still fight for a good position in the championship. And yeah, I'm glad that I can have a look at the race as a streamer again. I'm not sure if you have seen it last time, but I was racing in Imola, and it was quite the disaster, to be fair. I didn't really practice that much, and I was racing on controller rather than on my steering wheel, but that wasn't even the issue. The issue was that I just made the worst decisions you could ever make. And it was literally just a survival race, but in the end I managed to get through. I had a few laps where I felt like, oh yeah, it's going decent, and yeah, I just felt comfortable in the car in general, but I just made a lot of false decisions. So yeah, for the next two races I'm not gonna race. I'm gonna be streaming. I'm not sure if I'm gonna stream the next race. We're gonna have a triple header, meaning that we're gonna have every Sunday the last three races starting from today. Usually we race every 2 weeks, but this time, to finish off the season, we will not have any breaks in between. So next week we're gonna have Mexico, and the final race is going to be in Brazil, where I'm aiming to actually compete again on the grid and share my perspective, maybe talk a little bit less and focus on my strategy and the right decisions. But yeah, in general this is it. As of now, we are going to receive an invite to the game very soon, to the lobby. And in the meantime, I'm gonna try to prepare a little bit for the stream. I didn't have so much time to prepare like extra clips and stuff, because I was watching an episode of Arcane with some friends. But yeah, in general I do have a clip to show where we can have a look at the racetrack. Today we're racing in Saudi Arabia, and this is going to be a very interesting race. It's one of the newest tracks on the Formula 1 calendar, and I haven't really practiced that track. I haven't really managed or like put the time into it to actually know the track and really race it properly. But all I can say is it is a very fast track. There are a lot of turns, very fast track, and you just gotta be really careful with the curbs, with not making any mistakes. It is very easy to crash out and completely destroy your car. So this is another track, not on the same level as Monaco, but it is on this level where you have to balance out the risk and the consistency of your lap times, and this is very interesting to watch. I'm gonna have a look at how many drivers we're gonna have on the grid today, and it seems like we're gonna have 10 drivers on the grid. Usually we have around, let's say 12, 14 on average, but towards the end of the season it seemed like a few of the drivers couldn't really make it. Shout out to them. I hope that they can still make it eventually. And yeah, I just received an invite to the lobby, so all I need to do is set it up so that you can actually see it as well. So if you just bear with me for a second or a minute, I will quickly do that. Alright, and I'm gonna switch now to the grid. Alright, I still need to fix the volume. If you just give me another minute. I do apologize for not being prepared from the get-go. Alright, I'm just gonna set up the details here as well. Again, I do apologize, I'm not that well prepared today, but we should be by the end of this race. So here right now we have the first driver that is going to set a lap time, MeistaSoda. He's a rookie, currently in the top 10. I believe he's on P8 at the moment, and he's gonna try to set here a good lap. Just gonna check here a few things. There we go. Alright. Alright. For some reason I don't have any audio. Technical difficulties at its best. Alright, I will do my best to fix it as soon as possible. Until then, I'm obviously gonna take a look at how his lap is going at the moment. So he's currently starting on the mediums, and he sets the first lap time with a 1:31.1. Droid Steroid now about to start his lap as well. We're gonna have another look to GGI Viper, who is a contender for the top 3 in the championship at the moment. He's been a very consistent driver. He's participated in almost every single race, and it shows of course in the points that he has collected, and he comes in with a 1:31.6. So MeistaSoda is currently with a decent lap time. We go now to Chechensky, our Canadian driver. Very fast rookie in the Red Bull. But he's going into the pits. Also, Sonny has set the lap time already with a 1:35.2, and I believe there's still a lot to improve on that lap time. I'm pretty sure that he just had a bit of... Oh! Droid Steroid goes extremely wide, clips the barrier. But he sets 1:33.4 and is currently in position 3. Yeah, and here we have Sonny, and currently he's improving his lap time. And like I said, this is a very fast track, but very tight. So any kind of mistake can lead to a broken wing or even a fatal crash, at least for the car. And they improved it to a 1:33.6, so he's very close to Droid Steroid. And now we're gonna take a look at Big Tall Tree. He's still on his outlap. Also a very fast driver. He's been in the league already for a bit. And yeah, I'm still trying to figure out how I can switch on the sound, so I'm sorry if this looks a bit weird. Alright, and now we're gonna start the lap here with Big Tall Tree. I have to say that if I can't find out what the issue is with the sound, I might stop the stream after the qualifying and switch to the Xbox directly, which will mean that we have less fancy stuff, but it also means that we're gonna have a very good quality stream from the aspect ratio and stuff like that. Alright. Seems like Sonny has retired. Seems like he's happy with his lap. Big Tall Tree now heading towards the finish line. Where is he gonna place himself? The Mercedes driver goes to P1 with a 1:29.7. Very fast lap time. And we're gonna have a look at Jachenski now. Can he beat that lap time? Can he put himself into the top ranks for the grid start? Okay, we have the first lap time, and Chechensky goes across the finish line with a 129.8, so not far behind Big Tall Tree, and it's enough for P2. And now we look to his teammate, who seems to have, invalidated his lap time, so currently he's on an out lap. Now here with Frechtags, who wants to improve his lap time, but I think as of now he's also on a cooldown lap. There seemed to be like he might have had a mistake. Now he's on his soft tires. Let's see how far he can get. Alright, Zangief in the pits. Maybe he damaged his front wing, that's what I believe. But of course there's still a bit of time, so there should be enough time for him to set a lap time. I'm actually very confused why there is no game sound, I have to say. Because usually it works. Alright, and again, my Frechtag's not able to set the correct lap time now. Here we have a look at Raketehafen, one of the veterans in the league. Very consistent driver. Him and his teammate have been one of the strongest and most consistent teams over the past years. And when I say he's a veteran, that means he has already 6 seasons under his belt. And as a reference, this league exists since 2017. So there have been 7 seasons. So there's only one season where Raketehafen has not participated. So a veteran, we're always glad to see him on the grid. Like I said, very consistent driver here in the Aston Martin. Followed now by Zangief, who is starting his out lap. We have only 5 minutes left, a little bit less than that. And we still have, with Heliola Cobra and Zangief, we have very fast drivers who still need to set a lap time. So I'm expecting the top 5 to be shaken up a little bit. In the meantime, let's have a look how my Frechtags is doing. Is he able to improve his lap time? But it doesn't seem like it. Could also be that he's just warming up for the race now, that he's just trying to lap consistently with a massive load of fuel, or maybe he just really couldn't push that much. But yeah, here Raketehafen on the medium tires, about to set his first lap time. And what is it going to be? It's a 131.5, and he puts himself into P4. Currently, my Frechtags in 3rd position. Yeah, I think he's actually running a little bit for consistency, a little practice for the race. But now here Zengifar for his first lap time. And you can see already a first purple sector, meaning that he's currently the fastest in that sector. And another purple sector. And here we have the first lap time of Zengifar, and it's a 1:29.2 and half a second faster than Big Tall Tree. But we also have Heliola Cobra on the grid right now, who is trying to place himself on the top of the leaderboard for the starting grid. And it's going to be a 1:30.2, currently P4. So we have a Red Bull and Mercedes startup in the front rows, followed by the AlphaTauri, the Alfa Romeo of MeistaSoda, then Raketaffen and Viper. And it seems like no one except for MeistaSoda is still lapping, which means that this session is potentially over, and this is going to be the starting grid for today's race. I will try to figure out shortly how if I can fix the sound, and if I'm unable to do that, then I will restart the stream from the Xbox in order to provide a sound profile as well. If I get to that point, I first show the current championship standings. There is a link for the scoreboard as well. If you click at the bio of my Twitch account, you can find the GeForce Motorsports scoreboard. And here we have it. That's the starting grid for today's race. We're gonna have Zengifar in P1, who is currently driving into the pits, followed by Heliola Cobra, Big Tall Tree, Czeczensky, MeistaSoda, Raketaffen, Viper, Droid Steroid, and Sonny. I believe there was actually a 10th driver supposed to be here. Terzoni, I'm not sure if he had some issues with the connection. But yeah, that's why we have 9 drivers at the moment. Yeah, just waiting here for everyone to get into the pits so that we can have a look at the results. Okay, seems like the game does not want to show me the results. but that's okay because now I'm gonna show you the current championship standings. So here we have the points of the current championship. Zengifar has secured the championship already with 526 points. In P2 we have Heliula Cobra with a decent gap to P3. It's still somewhat close between Viper and Marvel Gifar, but Marvel Gifar at the moment not participating so much, so this is the chance for Big Tall Tree to actually get into position for today, as well as Raketehafen to overtake Marvel Gifar, because they're really close to P4. Then we have Flobiwan, Chechensky, My Frechtags and Strian Gifar in the top 10. And yeah, other drivers that have not competed that much or haven't had as many point finishes after that. For the Constructors' Championship we have Red Bull leading with 600 points, and that also means the Constructors' Championship for Red Bull. We have Mercedes in P2, and as I said, a very consistent Aston Martin team with 310 points, AlphaTauri 270, Haas with 238, Alfa Romeo 116, Williams Racing 75, Ferrari with 64.5, McLaren 26.5, and Alpine Racing with 16 points. What you see here currently is one of my scoreboards that I offer to different racing leagues. You can see here all the teams, and if you take a look at the link, like I said in the description, I might also post a link in the chat. If you take a look, there's a comparison where you can also compare two drivers to each other. I'm also there, even though I didn't race as much, but you can see that I am actually also one of the veterans, even though this number is not correct. But yeah, this is it with the championship standings at the moment. And right now I just tried to fix the issue with the sound. We still have a few minutes until the race starts. The start is at 26, so it's in 1 minute, and there's going to be a formation lap. So if I can't fix the sound right now, I will end the stream and start it again from the Xbox. But it seems like this time it's working. Alright, the drivers are getting ready for the formation lap. Let's have a look at the grid. Alright, and as you can hear now, it should be audible, which is great. I have no idea what happened there, but now we can hear everything. Alright, so the formation lap. I'm just going to get everything ready for the race. and I'm also going to adjust the volume a little bit. Test, test, sound check. Alright, the volume should be fine. And yeah, here we have it. Now the formation lap for the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix. And yeah, as of now, I have been a bit more quiet. Just a very hot day, which is nice. But it also is a bit exhausting, so I do apologize if I'm a bit too silent. But yeah, so we're gonna have 25 laps here in Saudi Arabia. It's going to be very interesting. You can see a little bit of dust here on the track. And yeah, here we have everyone getting ready for the race. Alright, and here we have the suggested strategy, most likely a medium and a soft strategy. We just have to wait a few seconds. Alright, and the lights go on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And away we go with the Grand Prix of Saudi Arabia. A very good start from Raketa Hafen. He makes up a position. He places himself here in the middle. MeistaSoda goes wide and loses a lot of points, positions. Raketa and Viper take advantage of that and put themselves in position higher. Although Droid Steroid now passed MeistaSoda. And it seems like it's been a safe start. I don't believe that anyone has taken any damage. And we are rolling the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix here with the G-Force Motorsports. Lila Cobra trying to stay as close as possible to Zengifar. In the meantime, also Viper has taken a position from Raketa Hafen, is now in P5. And you can see that there's already a few small trains creating a gap to each other. Alright, and Hila Carver extremely close, but he will have to wait for lap 3 to receive his DRS. So as of now, he has to take advantage of a normal follow-up. And we have the first 3-second time penalty for Droid Steroid, which is going to be added to his race time at the end of the race. And Hilo Cobra still trying to stay close. Also Chechansky very close to Big Tall Tree. This is a great battle between Red Bull and Mercedes, the top 2 contenders of the championship. Great pictures here from the street circuit in Jeddah. because of the many turns on this track, it is very hard to overtake, at least until you have the DRS. There's a few DRS zones, but again, we need to wait until lap 3. Chichenski tries to go here on the inside, and he does. A wonderful overtake. He just had the speed to go on the inside. Very clean move. Nicely done. And now Chichenski wants to get closer to Helio Lacobra so he can also compete with the top 3 of the race. Zengifar with the fastest lap time, and Chichenski takes the fastest lap time again. Big Toll Tree for a very short moment tries to have a look on the inside, but it's not enough, and now we have the DRS enabled. And at the moment, the top 3 drivers, they are all within a DRS window, so this is going to be interesting, especially for the straights. Also, Sonny is very close to Droid Steroid, so we can expect a few overtakes on the straight. Let's have a look at the leaders. As we are heading closer to the first DRS zone. Alright, we come to the finish line, and here's the first DRS zone. Yeah, the wing is open. You can see the time that he is gaining. Chichenski with a new fastest lap time of 132.8. But currently it's not enough for Helio Lacobra to take a peek and go on the inside, and Chichenski actually really getting close to his teammate and Helio Lacobra. Rakita Alpha also staying very close to Viper. It is great to see that we have really close battles here, all in pairs. Oh, beautiful picture here. Here we can see Big Tall Tree, who is trying to stay as close as possible to Chichenski. But I don't think he will be able to profit from the DRS, as we're heading again to the final straight. Helio Lacobra opens the DRS. Takes a look at the inside, but it's again not enough. Not enough to actually make a move. But you can see how much the DRS makes a difference. Big Tall Tree has lost around 3/10 on that straight to this pack of 3 drivers. And trust me, this is going to be an interesting race, because those drivers, they really have a great pace, they know how to fight. And it's going to be interesting until the very end of the race. And especially because the 2 Red Bull drivers are very close to each other, they really have to figure out how to make their pit stop strategy work. And I know that they can, and that they will. Alright, let's have a look. At the moment, everyone on the medium tires. And so far, no one except for Droid Steroid with a time penalty. I mean, of course, the race is still going on for quite a bit of time still. But it's looking good so far. And here we have another DRS zone. Alright, Heliola Cobra trying to get closer. Taking a look at the inside, and again, it's not enough. I'm not sure if he's just trying to save up on ERS. Sadly, I don't have enough experience to really say it myself on the track, how it is to overtake and how to use the ERS and stuff, but I can imagine that it's not easy to regain your ERS on that track, because there's a lot of fast corners and not so much of braking zones. In the meantime, also Raketehafen not letting go of Viper, staying within the DRS window. Frechtax at the moment a bit more isolated, a little bit like Bottas in the AlphaTauri. Why do I keep saying AlphaTauri? Alfa Romeo. Alright, and now we have it here. You can see Heliola Cobra again extremely close to Zangiefar. Let's see if he can actually make a move. It's getting really close, but again, it's not enough. It's not enough. Also not here for Raketehafen. He manages to stay close enough, but it's not enough to actually make a move on the AlphaTauri. Here we actually have an AlphaTauri. Raketehafen really staying extremely close to Viper. Alright, and we're heading on to the straight again with the leading drivers. You can see, so Heliola Cobra starts with around half a second of a gap to Zangiefar, but it's never enough to actually make a move, and I'm really not sure if this is on purpose or not. It could be about tactic, or yeah, I actually really don't know. This would be interesting to hear directly from the driver. Alright, let's also have a look at the drivers in the back. Zangiefar has gained a little bit of time on Droid Steroid. And yeah, Droid Steroid currently with 3 seconds of time penalty, so that means 6 as we say that. He gains another 3 second time penalty. Pineapple tree, yeah. So at the moment he would lose his position to Zangiefar, so this is going to be interesting. In the meantime, Heliola Cobra has lost the gap to Zangiefar, so that means he has no DRS anymore and is now vulnerable to Chechenski, who is taking a little peek on the inside. But also here, No move done yet. Is this going... Oh, and Viper and Big Raketehafen had a bit of an exchange here, but Viper remains in P5. And I think this is now going to be the break point where Zangiefar has the chance to break away from the Mercedes driver and gain a bit of time, because now that Tuchanski has the DRS of Helio Cobra, Helio really has to defend every single lap until he shakes him off, and I'm not so sure if this is going to happen. Both the Red Bull drivers and the Mercedes drivers are extremely fast-paced drivers, and this is definitely going to be interesting. Yeah, we see here Tuchanski with another fastest sector time, even though we could see a little bit of track limits being not misused, but yeah, being crossed. And here he takes P2 from the outside. Beautifully done by the Red Bull driver, and he gains the DRS as well. Now he's even getting close enough to his teammate, and this is now going to be really interesting between those three drivers. Let's have a look at Raketehafen if he's able to make a move on Viper again. Nah, it's not enough. Not enough. But yeah, that's a bit of a game changer right now here. No, both Red Bull drivers in the lead for 1-2. They have managed this already a few times throughout the championship. To be exact, they have managed it already 3 times to have 1-2 and one time a 2-3. Helio Cobra now with a time penalty. So even though he's staying that close at the moment, it means that he's not going to be able to gain any of the leading positions. And oh, Helio Cobra with the same move from the outside. Very nicely done, very aggressive, but very clean as well. And here you can see now both drivers back in the DRS window, and we're back at the beginning, back where we started. And now here Raketehafen. Viper still able to defend. You can see how these drivers are pushing each other through the tight streets of Saudi Arabia. Right, so as of now it seems like there's not really that many overtaking opportunities unless we come to the straight or to the final corner of the racetrack. Like, even though there's a small DRS on, this is mainly to stay close to the opponents so that you have a chance at the final straight. And it's remarkable how close those drivers stay to each other, so you can really see the pace is quite similar. Even though the following car has DRS, it's not enough to actually gain any position. Alright, it seems like there's still not a move to be made, but now actually Hideo Cobra quite close compared to the other times. Zangiefar definitely has to use some ERS to maintain the gap to the Mercedes driver, and it is enough for him to actually stay in his position. But now we have it, Raketehafen trying to make a move from the outside. Viper has to leave a bit of space. You always have to leave a space, to remember that. But it's obviously not enough. In that corner you do want to take the inside, unless you really have so much pace that you can take the inside of the next turn. But that was certainly not the case. Alright, and I'm taking a look at the standings right now. So, because of Mavo Gefar not participating in this race, he's a threat now to lose his position. And I think, as it is the case, he would lose his position to Big Tall Tree and Raketehafen, if I'm not wrong. And I'm sorry, I apologize, I did not have this move on the picture. Hideo Cobra managed to overtake one of the Red Bulls, but he had to give the position back, and now Chechanski with the pit stop, the first pit stop of the race. And this means now Chechanski coming out behind Raketehafen and Viper with a almost 3-second gap, 2.5-second gap, but he's on the soft tire, so we can expect that he will catch up on those two very quickly. There we have it. Now he's already next to Raketehafen and Viper. You can see, like, obviously fresh tires make an immense difference when it comes to lap times. And look at that pace. Now he's getting DRS. He's going to make a move. I don't think he's making a move right now, but definitely on the straight. In the meantime, Zangiefar and Hideo Cobra both into the pits, and those two drivers going to the pits as well. We have a double stop from both Mercedes drivers, so it could be that one of the Mercedes drivers, in that case Big Tall Tree, might have lost a little bit of time, depending on how fast the team was with the pit stop. But thanks to the pit stop, Chechanski is back into P2, and now it gets really interesting, because now we're on the fastest compound that you can race on this track. So that means you have more grip, you're going to be faster, and this is going to be very interesting. DJ Viper now with a 3-second time penalty. That is not good for the AlphaTauri driver, because Rakita is still close enough to challenge his position. Look how they're bunched up, all really close to each other. And here we have Tchansky with another fastest lap time at 1:31.6. Helio Cobra back into P2. And there's gonna be a lot of switcheroos throughout this race. You see the beautiful helmet of Zangiefar. And I'm actually really curious to see if any one of those front drivers has any penalties. I'm gonna take a look at the race director, which I don't do very often. See the track limits, and we have Zangiefar 1 time, and that's it. We have Tchansky with 1 time as well. So both drivers at the moment with 1 warning. So it doesn't look like, it's not very likely that they're going to have a lot of time penalties. It could happen that throughout the race they gain another 3-second time penalty, but as of now it's looking very good. And Rakita has left the session. There is a connection issue, it seems like. Helio Cobra now with the fastest lap time at 1:30.8. He takes P2 from Tchansky again. Rakita has joined back. Yeah, and with this lap time, Helio manages to have a little gap to Tchansky. Seems like the lobby is bugging out a little bit. Oh! Zangiefar missing the corner and has to give back the position to Helio Cobra. Now Helio Cobra in the lead. Oh, but Zangiefar goes on the outside. Very clean move, nothing that Helio Cobra can do because he also has DRS, and a 3-second time penalty for my Frechdachs. I hope that the lap times are coming back. Yeah, they're slowly coming back. Alright, and the drivers are getting closer to another car that they have to lap, Droid Steroid. will have to give them way, I think, at the final straight. And the look over making a clean move on the outside. And for a second I thought maybe he would be close enough to droid steroid to actually gain the DRS from the back marker, but it's not enough, and Helio Lacova cannot defend the position. There is a lot of overtakes in this race because the top three drivers are really close to each other. In the meantime, the rest of the grid has taken a gap to the other cars. Droid Steroid doing his best to stay clean with letting the faster cars overtake. It seems like Raketehafen is back in the pits. I'm not sure if he had any damage, but my Frechdachs. Oh, and here we have it. The first 3-second time penalty for Chachanski, which puts Helio Lacobra back into the game for P2. Without having to worry too much about gaining that time that he loses through this time penalty. Raketehafen was in the pits, and now my Frechdachs has taken position 6 from Raketehafen, but he's still close enough to get the position at the end of the race because of my Frechdachs time penalty. Also Viper with a 3-second time penalty. So as of now, Raketehafen, Big Tall Tree and Sonny are the only drivers besides Zengifar that don't have any time penalties yet. I'm actually curious to see, everyone is on the soft compound, Raketehafen with a very fresh set of soft tires, and I think that he has most likely damaged his front wing a little bit because there is also a way bigger gap than he used to have before the pit stop. So as of now, Zengifar only has to stay clean and without time penalties to have a secure win of this Grand Prix. We have 5 more laps to go, and those 3 drivers really managed to stay close throughout the whole race. Ooh, Helio Lacobra for a second looked like he's going to make a move. Yellow flag. I think this is just to let Big Tall Tree pass. Oh! Big Tall Tree with a broken front wing. I'm not sure if this has happened because of the overtake of the lapping car. I'm really not too sure about that, but he is putting on some new tires right now. Now Big Tall Tree has to really push hard to, well, to be honest, I don't think that he will be able to gain the position back from Viper unless he makes a mistake as well, and I really don't want to jinx anything. Helio Lacobra is back into the lead, but let's see how long this is going to last, because Zengifar again extremely close. Oh, I love that camera. This top view from the helicopter is perfect. You can really see how much time he gains here in this very fast corner. He's going from the outside, but it's not enough to make a move yet. But obviously we have another straight here. My Freitags with another time penalty. And that puts Raketehafen into a better position. Oh, and Tschetschenski also going for the move? No. Oh, for a second I thought that he had enough pace to and speed to actually also take advantage of Zangifar's move. Oh, what a race, what a race. Those three drivers really, shout out to those drivers who really fight in a very fair and clean way throughout the whole race. We have 3 more laps to go afterwards. And this race has been really interesting. This race seems like so much more about tactics, because you really have to think about, okay, first of all you have to be consistent and aggressive throughout the whole race, throughout the whole track, without damaging your front wing, without having any time penalties. And if you can manage to stay close to the other cars, making the tactics to overtake, we could even see that in the real Formula 1, the battle between Verstappen and Hamilton, it was remarkable, and a lot of mind games also going on when to overtake because of the DRS zones. We have this DRS zone here towards the last corner, but following that you have another speed trap, you have another DRS trap where you can get the DRS. So technically, if you manage to stay behind in that corner, you can overtake right away on the final straight. Here, Hilo Cobra on the inside, little peak, but it's not enough. And we're getting closer towards the end of this race. In the meantime, also Raketehafen, even though he's gaining position 6 already because of my Freitags time penalties, he is closing up on the Alfa Romeo driver. Big Tall Tree actually not too far behind Viper. The good thing is he has fresh tires and he doesn't have any time penalty. So if... but that's still a lot of time that he would have to gain. So unless Viper really makes a big mistake, he's going to remain in P4. Yeah, I can see also Zangief was bringing a little bit later than Hideo Cobra. Oh! And there was a yellow flag. Oh, okay, but I think that was just to let Big Tall Tree by. Hideo Cobra with another time penalty! And this potentially takes him out of the race for position 2 if Tschetschenski doesn't make another mistake and receives a time penalty as well. But as of now, Tschetschenski is going to be in P2, and with that Red Bull would have a 1-2 finish. And Raketehafen has overtaken my Freitags because my Freitags has pitted. And my Freitags has a tendency to switch to new fresh tires and try to get the fastest lap towards the end of the race for an extra point. And as he has to give the position away anyway because of his time penalties, I think this is a good call. Oh. Close fight here at the front. Logoba goes a bit wide. Misses the corner as well. I think he loses a little bit of concentration here. Thing is, we are in the last lap already. Jachansky actually can play it safe. He doesn't have to fight for the position anymore, because as of now he's definitely taking position 2. He's close enough to take an advantage from the time penalties. Helio Locoba goes on the outside, but Zangiefar defends on the inside, and it's enough. Oh, he clips the wall on the outside, and here we have it, a very close finish for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Congratulations to Red Bull for those big points and this remarkable fight throughout the whole race. Now we have Viper on P4, who can very safely take the position. Big Tall Tree not able to gain the time or the position, as he also has another time penalty. But this puts Viper into P4. Solid points, and also Big Tall Tree waving here for the fans of the Mercedes driver into the finish of this Grand Prix. Here we have Droid Steroid finishing his race as well, followed by Sonny. And here we have Raketehafen with no time penalties. And now now my Frechtags attempting to have the fastest lap time. And I'm actually not sure if he made it. I didn't have enough time to see it. But let's see who is the driver of the day. And it is Chechensky. Congratulations, Chechensky, to the driver of the day. Remarkable drive from both Red Bull drivers. Really close battle at the front. Great to see. And another win for Zangiefar to set the record for the most points within a season in this league even higher. Congratulations to everyone. What a race. And here we have it, the results of the race. We have Zangiefar and Chechensky, both Red Bull drivers, on the podium, followed by Helio Cobra. Then we have Viper, Big Tall Tree, Rakita, my Frechtags, who managed really to get the fastest lap time in the end. Once again, shout out to my Frechtags for that tactic. He has done it already several times. I think this is a fifth time this time. Then we have Droid Steroid and Sonny. Remarkable drive by everyone. Everyone managed to finish the race. And that's it for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Alright, what a race it was, and this is the end of today's stream. This was race 22 out of 24, and we have 2 more to come. Next Sunday we're going to race in Mexico, and in 2 weeks we're gonna have the big final, where I'm also trying to compete on the grid in Brazil. Dear viewers, thank you for watching. If you haven't, please follow my channel. I eventually might start to stream more regularly in the future. So yeah, thank you for watching, and a wonderful rest of the evening to all of you. Soda out.